Hello, guys. Morgan Strong Comic here, and we are going to review Cape Comic Con 2023. So I'm wearing my gold box Cape Comic Con shirt. It's got Red Skull here because Red Skull from the Infinity War and Endgame sagas right here. He was there, and I'm hoping this was supposed to look like Colossus. I think it's just swirls, but that would have been really cool because Colossus from the Deadpool movies was also there. So this is really rad. I really like this shirt. I don't like it's not my style, but it fits really well. So I'm appreciative of that. Also in my gold box, which this is I think my fifth or sixth one I've gotten. This is what they look like. Weekend badge, of course. You get a t-shirt. I got a free single entry to the Pokemon Cafe. So didn't know that was in there till after the con. Oops. But the Pokemon Cafe people came around to the vendors and guests and checked on us. So I still got stuff. So that was nice. And the limited edition badge was really rad. So this is the limited edition badge right here, which has Iroh and Boomy from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And they were both stoked because they're like, we've never been on a badge before. So that was fun. Unfortunately, it is started peeling pretty bad by Saturday. And I didn't even really mess with it. So I'll have to tape it inside or glue it. But I definitely, and it says gold and even says the year. So thank you for doing that. That helps me so much for my badge wall. I cannot wait to add that to my collection. And we've always had Dr. Pepper lanyards. They had Dr. Pepper, they had Sprite, and they had Mountain Dew. So they gave me bold Mountain Dew, and I was like, what a nice contrast. I can't drink Mountain Dew, but I like the color. If it's the Nickelodeon slime earthbender, image here. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, Cape Comic Con. I will tell you, I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I wasn't sure initially, depending on what I had to do, if I was going to be there Sunday, because I've missed a lot of days of church this month being sick and some family issues, which my church has been very kind about. But since they do pay me a contract for Sunday school, again, I always feel guilty about that. So I wasn't sure, but I talked to Mr. Ken, who runs the event, the day before, and I just said, hey, looking forward to it. If you need anything, let me know. And he said, actually, I might need you. And I said, okay. I'm staying with Lonnie and Jessica for Heroes for Kids because they live only half an hour away from the event. So they're kind enough to let me stay there. Which, of course, if they didn't need me, I would help Lonnie and Jess and then walk around and check on all my wonderful vendor con family friends. And I didn't hear anything, but I was like, well, I'll bring my 3 planned cosplays. And I packed that up. So I packed that. I woke up early. Gosh, let's see. I took a shower. I woke up really early Friday. I took a shower. I spent an hour and a half packing, got a majority of it done. And then I had to go and be at school by 8 because we had a professional development day. I took half of a day because the con didn't start till 3. So I figured if I could get down there by like 2:30 at the latest, I should be fine. So I did professional development at school. Not much to report you'd be interested in, or some of it I can't report. And then we were going to like 11, because he told me I was supposed to stay till noon, but since our lunch was an hour, he goes, well, if you eat quickly, you can leave at 11:30, my boss. And I was like, cool. So he was fine with that. And I was ready to leave. And then at 11:08, some church came and donated some food to us. To be kind because of an incident we had a couple weeks ago, which I talked about in another video. And he's like, okay, why don't we all eat together as a family? And I love that. But deep down, I'm like, and I have to leave early. So I felt guilty. So I'm like, oh, so I'm like shoving food in my mouth. And when it was 11:30 on the dot, I'm like, I told one of our coworkers, happy birthday. I like snuck out and I sent the text. I'm like, you guys are awesome. Have a great weekend. I'm going to Comic-Con. And then nobody answered me back. So I always break the group chat. Nobody likes to talk to me on this whole group chat. I don't know why. I really don't. But anyway, I'm just like, I'm going to Comic-Con. So I got a full tank of gas. I got some snacks for the road. No, I didn't. Yeah, no, wait. No, I did not. I did get gas, though. I got gas. I refilled my medicine. I did my last bit of packing. Remembered most of my stuff this time because it's SEMA. I forgot to mention that my SEMA video. I forgot like 10 things. Luckily, I survived without them, but it still wasn't pleasant. And then I was ready to go. I don't think I got Starbucks that day. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did get Starbucks that day. But went on the road to Cape at my 1/3 point, because there's like 3 different points from where I live. I went to the restroom, did get a little snack there, which I'm glad I did, and headed on down. I didn't get there till like 2:40, and I was like, oh gosh, oh gosh. But I was still was the first ones in line, so that was nice. Mr. Ken gave me my gold box right away. They had a nice station outside. They also had a side um, station for people like vendors to come through, but not guests, because I guess I could see some guests on accident thinking that's hopefully it's not accident. Trying to get in that way. Bits for vendors to load. Um, I wasn't allowed in the first day because I said Mr. Ken said he needed me, and she goes, "Well, I can't let you in." It's okay, so I went to the front. After that, Saturday, Sunday, I was allowed to go for the side door with the vendor, so it was fine. Because unless they only gave you one or two volunteer badges this year, and Lonnie and Jess needed both of them, so I couldn't have gone in anyway if I wanted to. But that's okay. At least I knew. Last year I didn't know that, but because I was waiting really like I went to a park and waited and ate Cracker Barrel out of my car because I was like, oh, okay, I can't go to the con. I was gonna help you set up, but whatever. But I'll get off track. So he went over and he said, "Hey, I need you to go go to the guest area and find Ariel." And I said, "Okay." I don't know who Ariel is, but okay. So I went in there and I met Lonnie, he's had foot surgery, so he hasn't got the cosplay as much, but he was dressed as Dark Superman, so that was really cool. And it was already bustling because it was only like less than 20 minutes. So they opened the doors and I was waving at people and everybody saying hi. And I'm like, "Hey, I love you, but I gotta go to my station." Apparently I have a station. So I went over there and I found Miss Ariel. She was very colorful and clothing, very pretty hair. And she's like, "Hi." And I was like, "Hi, Mr. Kent sent me to help." And she goes, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Do you know anything about this show called Avatar: The Last Airbender?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I do. I don't know if I can show you guys my Funkos. But yeah, there's a big majority of them way up there that are Avatar. I'm going to be pre-ordering more of the ones that are coming Thanksgiving weekend. So I know a little bit about Avatar. And she's like, "Great. You are going to get to help Mr. Greg Baldwin." And she was sitting down with the other Avatar guests. And I'm sitting here like, my brain kind of froze. I'm like, Greg, 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 Greg. Like, I know that name. And the second he came with the suitcase and this like pastel blue coat and sonic blue checkered shoes and tinted matching glasses. And he's like, "I'm here." And I'm just like, I get to work with Uncle Iro all weekend. And he asked, he was like, "Are you going to be my assistant all weekend?" I was like, "If you want me, sir." He's like, "Wonderful." And I'm just like, oh my God. And I had to keep it all inside. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm working with Uncle Iro. Like it was amazing. And guys, like I've loved every guest I've had the honor to work with. Jason Narvi, Johnny Young Bosch. I can't compare them all. Like I don't have a favorite, obviously. I love them all. But I will say spiritually, like in my soul, this was one of the most healing experiences of my life. Mr. Baldwin is a treasure. He was meant to be Uncle Iro. Now, I'm not going to say he is Uncle Iro because that's not fair to him. He's his own person, but he was just a funny, charismatic, endearing person. And I just loved his stories. And he's like, "You're going to get sick of my stories." And I'm like, "No." And even though I've heard him like 40 times, and I've heard multiple stories like all weekend, just they were so fun. And I loved, adding to his flair. And we were both loud and funny. And he asked if I liked musical theater. And I said, "I love musical theater." He goes, "Yes." Because you know what? I said, he goes, "My degree is musical theater." And I was like, So he would just break into show tunes, and he was fully himself, and I love that. He was so honest about his current life, his past life, he took everything in stride as a learning experience. He was so giving too. And like I won't say like to the extent, because I don't want people to think like they could um ab- not abuse, but take advantage of his generosity at conventions, because he is there as a paid guest and he deserves that. So, but he knew when to lend that kind hand or when to say that right word. And he greeted everyone as Uncle Iroh, and their faces were just like, just melts. And I've seen people fan, but I've never seen people fan to the extent like with their whole heart. Like he literally is like an uncle to so many people, like millions of people. And his wife tells him that. And he really is. And he's like, well, I'm just a voice of this wonderful cartoon character. Which is true. And he goes, and I have to thank the writers and the creators and the artists. And I'm like, well, yeah. And I'm glad that he's humble and gives them credit, but he knows that Iroh is influential and he's embraced it while still being himself. And that's really hard. You either like one or the other. So he was just a delight to be with. And he was so funny. His wife makes him eat healthy during the weekend. So he's like, don't tell my wife what I'm eating. And then it's like, I said, every time he had like a snack, because everybody was feeding him. Like they had a green room for the guest. We had the Pokemon cafe and they were checking on him and giving him stuff, and he didn't pay for none of that. Gosh, I don't know. He was just phenomenal in that regard. And he was just so grateful, and he would just have fun and taking pictures, and so stylish. Pastel every day, and his glasses matched, except for Sunday he didn't have purple tinted glasses, or not purple, orange, but it was still cool, so stylish. And he explained everything to me, and he told me right away, he said, I like you, I like your positivity, I like your energy, I like that you just jumped in and knew what to do. And I'm like, yeah, I know how to use Square. Like I had to ask a couple questions because he had like a real fancy palm reader. I just do my phone because I can't get those attachments to live long enough. You get one speck of dust and they're gone. His was real nice, and the internet Wi-Fi was actually good for him, which is great for cons. So that was a lot of fun. And I knew his prices real quick. I knew the routine. I knew I was supposed to be the quote unquote the bad guy. The quote Jason Narvey. And that doesn't mean like I'm mean. It just means that I have to charge and expect it, even if somebody's like says like, oh, I don't have the money, or oh, I wish I could have this. And depending on the individual, sometimes then the guest could come in and be like, okay, well, normally we do that, but we're having a special, and make him look even better than he already is. And not that it made me feel bad, because if I was a jerk about it, that'd be different. But like, no, everybody was nice to me too. They were like, yes, ma'am. And they were so polite. And I would have fun talking to people online while they're waiting for him, and everybody's having their moment. And he's like, now you got to tell me when to shut up. And I'm like, I didn't want to do that. So I just because everybody has their time to have their moment. If he's enjoying the conversation too, because he needs to enjoy the con too. Like that's part of the experience. It's an open, very accepting community. We both agreed with that. A very loving community, us nerds. And so I would I would go around and take orders of the next person in line just so it's ready to go. If I could. Sometimes I couldn't, and depending on, because I had to go take a selfie. So I was the gopher. I was running around, did that with 2 other people, so I knew the drill. So that was fun. I love it. Like even I was very tired at the end of all 3 days, but it was great. And we had wonderful conversations about lots of deep things. He's very easy to talk to, very knowledgeable, but still very human. And that's what Iroh encompasses too. And he's always very grateful, because he's like, if you would have told me that this show that I dubbed, gosh, he's like 16, 17 years ago, would still be so impactful and they're adding new stuff to it, then I never would have believed you, because it was beautiful. We knew it was beautiful, but the fact that it made such a difference, because I've never seen an animated show that made such a difference in people's lives. And seeing people come up and like crying just to meet him. People just like, wow, you're my favorite character. Or people confessing, like, you've got me for some hard times. And he always did his Iroh voice. He goes, oh, you're most grateful. And, he'd always be like, welcome to the Jasmine Dragon. And he just embraced his character. Just, I think it was natural until they found out they were Samurai Jack fans. And then he went to Aku and like, you Jack, come to Aku, foolish mortal. Mr. Baldwin, I hope that wasn't a terrible impression. You do it much better. I apologize. And then he was in BioShock. He's Fontaine, and I don't know much about BioShock, but people be like, especially if he was gone, they would just point at his picture. He had like one or two pictures, and they're like, he was Frank Fontaine, and they would just like freak out all excited. I'm like, yeah, that's what it says on the table. So we learn really quickly because he never knows like what character's going to be his favorite, because he said it's usually Iroh, but funnily enough, in California and New York, it's Aku from the villain from Samurai Jack. And he's like, that doesn't surprise me with those two states. But I said, hey, now if you come to Missouri again, that BioShock is fairly popular. It was like his third most requested thing. And he's like, yeah, apparently. And like he signed 2 masks from BioShock. And like he'd ask, like, what line do you want? And they're like, the line. Luckily he did. I'm sitting here like, I don't know the line. And he had Uncle Iroh, all of his lines memorized. And we played off each other a lot. And I started something with the selfies. So there's a blank curtain wall because he was right by the door. So he could leave to go to the bathroom or go up to his hotel room. He took a couple chill breaks, which he more than deserves. There was like a 6-hour day and a 10-hour day. So that was nuts. So that's a lot. You deserve to chill. And being a guest, he got 3 free drinks from, he's an adult, I can say, at the bar. So he'd go get them. But there's like a small time frame. So he'd go get them. He'd take them up to his room. And then he, let him chill, and said he'd enjoy them later with his Uber Eats. And he brings his Roku with him everywhere so he can watch his shows before bed, no matter where he's at in the country. I thought that was fantastic. I'm like, he goes, the more at home I feel, the easier it is for me to sleep when I go to these cons. And I was like, that's great. I really enjoy that. But we've had this blank wall because the professional photos are behind the blank wall. So he had like the prime spot, man. He really did. And we put him there. I said, look, you got a selfie wall. He goes, I do. And I said, well, I'm thinking, we're going to use that as one till they kick us out. Nobody did. So I started a thing. So we did 1, 2, tea, because Uncle Iroh loves tea. And I had lots of people go, I'm going to start saying that. I'm like, you can have that. Just remember me fondly when you think of it. And then he started making people bend, like do a bending pose. So that was lots of fun. And I got to the point and go, and now we bend? He goes, now we bend. And then he'd make a joke like, oh, my back. And every time I'm like, I get my hand, he goes, I'm kidding. I'm like, you're going to get me. You're going to need me one of those days. And then we joked about firebenders were the experts of knee bending. So we would like march our knees really high to the table and sing. Like we didn't even have to talk about it. Like we just vibed in every way. And everybody's like would come up and go, man, I love your guys' energy. You guys are having so much fun. And I'm like, yeah, I'm working with like an icon here. And he's so respectful of Mako, who was the original voice of Uncle Iroh. He passed away after season 2. So he would always sign his autographs as Uncle Iroh 2.0. And then there's a 3.0 with the live action coming up. So that's really cool. And he won't sing Leaves on the Vine, which is the really, really sad song that is dedicated to Mako, the voice actor in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's an Uncle Iroh episode. And he goes, I will sign it on your thing, but I won't sing it because it's Mako's song. And it was dedicated to him. And luckily, nobody at the con, they're kind of like, oh, okay. He said he's had other people contact to get really mad at him for that. But I think that's very, very kind that he respects Mako so much. And he goes, well, I'll know if I'm in heaven or heck, depending on how Mako reacts when I die to my performance of taking over Iroh and Aku, because he took over both roles. So that was that was fun. Um, but yeah, he just enjoys life. He's himself. He's very wise, but fun. Um, didn't meet a stranger. I had an amazing time. It was so inspiring. Um, and if you read his sign closely, you could ask for a hug for free. And finally, by the end of Saturday, people were catching on. Like I didn't say anything, but people were finally actually reading the full sign. Um, and he was giving hugs. And he was great with like if you were police or first responder, firefighter, military, a teacher, he would give out like a free autograph because he respected them so much. And when he found out I was a teacher, he's just like, oh, teachers, oh, my heart, bless you. Like, you guys get me. And I'm like, man, Sean Schimmel and you just respect. You guys need to go tell the our government how awesome teachers are. Gotta listen to two voice actors, right? I mean, seriously. And he loved babies. He was so good with babies. Oh my gosh, he was so good with like kids in general, but especially babies. He would just go, whoa, 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 whoa. His daughter's getting married next October, which he's griping about. Well, that was my 40th wedding anniversary. I guess my money's going to get my daughter married. She better give me a grandkid after that. I was like, oh, it's cute. He was playing with me. My friend Megan had her two twins there. They're 9 months, and he was playing with them. And then we had in the kids contest, there was a mandrake baby, and it was so cute. He tried to do like high pitched voices, and the baby was just going like, and then he goes, "You're a wizard, Harry," just like Hagrid. And every time the baby would just giggle. It was so precious. And he would just, he could probably spend all day. And then there was somebody had a therapy dog, and he was a good boy, went too far from us. He would lay under the table. And he like for 2 hours, he just kind of went plop and just was like all fluffy out. And we would just stare at him at a downtime. We're just like, look at that puppy. He's got a beautiful dog, and he's got cats too. And he thought socks was cute. I showed him my wallpaper. He goes, "Oh, look at your socks." I'm like, "I know." Sorry, I get too excited. He talked about working with the other Avatar cast and how great they are. And he's telling me like, "Yeah, you should do this and you should do this." And I'm like, That's awesome. That sounds really fun. I met a good handful of them. Not all of them, but a good handful of them. He's really close with Toss voice actress, which is very sweet. And when they're together, they can't find an outside place. They try to reenact the scene where they're sitting having tea with the stranger together, which is a very, very cute scene. I'm like, I love that. He has an Uncle Iroh cosplay. It's retired at the moment because the wig's just fallen apart. He said, but it's a good one with armor. But he said once he gets a good wig, he definitely will bring it back. He thought about it because the wig's just look like raggy Santa Claus. And I'm like, no, I wear cosplays too. I get it. So that's why I didn't wear my cosplays, because I was running around and my job was to help him. I didn't want to distract anybody from him. Luckily, I brought all 4 of my Avatar shirts, and my Zuko one came in like the day before the concert. It came in Thursday. Cleaned it up. I washed it Thursday night, and I got it out of the dryer Friday morning. So thank gosh for that, because I wore my Cabbages shirt on Friday, which was fun. And then I did my hair kind of Fire Nation style, and then my new Zuko shirt, where he's just standing there and he says, "That's rough, buddy." Mr. Baldwin would do a Dante Bosco, who is the voice actor for Zuko impression. He'd be, "Hey guys, what's up? I'm Dante Bosco." And we laughed. I told him how when I met Dante, he's never at his table. He's always just kind of roaming. As the poor assistant was like, "I don't know where he's at." But once he finally met him, he was really cool. And he's like, "Yep, that's Dante." They're going to some kind of premiere together in a couple weeks. He and Dante's doing a project, and he invited his uncle to go, which was so cute. I'm like, oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And then I wore my jasmine tea for Sunday, which was perfect. And I had like I had a lotus blossom and a jade necklace and a dragon. So I was prepared for that one. I didn't do anything to my hair that day, but my accessories, a jade bracelet, we were on par. And every time he'd say, I'd stand up that day and go, "Welcome to the Jasmine Dragon." I'd show off my shirt. And he's like, "Yeah, I got to get merch." I got this a hot topic, but that would be really cool. We saw some great Avatar cosplayers, so that was really fun. I mean, a lot of good cosplayers in general and everything. So it was just a beautiful experience, and I'm so grateful that Mr. Ken and Miss Ariel and their whole team trusted me, and Shane. And I've known Shane for a long time, and they were starting to like, I don't go out like to drink, even though I'm old enough. That's fine. But they were like inviting me to stuff, and Shane's like trying to buy me cupcakes all the time, and he's like, "This is my thank you," and I said, I do this for free, man. Like I'm volunteering. I'm having a great time. My friends are close by. If I need a bathroom break, I went and I'd walk around, and because it was crowded a couple times, and it took me forever to get back and check on my friends. I took basically all the selfies I wanted with most of my friends. Some of them I missed, but I did tag them in post, and it was great. So I got cupcakes. I bought a little girl cupcake behind me because Shane's like, "You're gonna get 6 cupcakes," and I'm like, "I don't need 6 cupcakes." I bought one, and I bought 2 Dragon Ball chocolate bonbons because I love those things. And while the other 2 girls that he was buying cupcakes for to thank them for volunteering, they were like, they couldn't even pick on their one. I knew which one I wanted right away because it's Cake Street Animated and Kate. They're amazing. And little girl was just, her dad was holding her, and she was waiting real quiet and just smiling for like 10 minutes. And I finally was like, okay. So I turned around and I said, "Which one do you want?" And she wanted the blue sparkly birthday cake one. It's the last one. And I said, "Can that go with my 6 cupcakes I'm apparently supposed to buy?" And the girl who runs it, she goes, "Absolutely." So I gave it to the girl, and the dad's like, "Oh, no, 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 no." I said, "She's been very patient for 10 minutes. I don't know, most adults that can handle that when there's cupcakes in front of them. So I am happy to buy her cupcake." And that wasn't me just being nice. It's just like, well, I felt bad that they're waiting for so long, but the smile on her face is totally worth it. And then Shane's like, "Where's your 6 cupcakes?" I'm like, "I had 4, and I gave one to that little girl." And then he kind of glared at me. I'm like, "Are you going to get mad that I gave a cupcake to a child?" He's like, "I guess I can't." I'm like, "No, you can't." So they're a whole bunch of great people, and they said I did a good job. And actually, some of them are professionally. They go almost every weekend traveling with famous people and being their handlers essentially. And I can't do that. But they're like, "Hey," and Ariel and the other head guy, like, "Can we have your number? And um, can we call you for Missouri cons? Like, you were really great." For celebrities. And I'm like, "Yeah, I would. Yeah, if I can, I would absolutely love to be contacted at least." So that, and Greg Baldwin, this was his first time in Missouri. He said it was beautiful. He loved the art. She didn't get to go inside it. And he loved seeing the Mississippi River when he landed in St. Louis. And he's like, "Everybody's so friendly and polite and chill." And I'm like, "Yeah, everybody really was. Like, just everybody was in such a good mood." I think he was a big part of it, at least at our table. But and I heard a lot of the vendors did very well because since COVID, um, things have been pretty hard. Like a lot of people might go to cons, but they're just kind of looking, and that's nice. But as a vendor, it's kind of discouraging as an author. I understand that. Um, but yeah, everybody was in a really good mood, and I'm glad overall it went well. And we had 4 really great guests, so that was fun. All gentlemen, which that was fine. They were fine gentlemen, and I think we had a good variety because we had 2 superhero people. We had voice actors. We were kind of missing the classic olden, like for not old people, but like we had Leave It to Beaver one time, or we had Eddie Munster. That kind of like classic TV or classic movie person. I think that would have been a great touch for this. And then Anime Con, you focus on anime, which we have in April. So we got that covered. So I think the balance was better here than it was. Although I absolutely loved having like the Ruby cast and the Power Rangers. Like always bring a Power Ranger, Ken. Like if you can, always bring a Power Ranger. That can be multi-generational now. So we're just missing that, and then like a classic person. But the 4 we had were fabulous, and people loved them. So that was in the long haul. That was great. Excellent choices. The Poke Cafe I heard was wonderful. I know the Villainous Grounds who helps the drinks mostly and cakes reanimated. Um, they worked super hard. The costuming was great. And I know the head waitress, and she actually asked me for advice for the anime one for food ideas. And we talked, and I think I helped her. So I feel like I kind of was included in that. So stay tuned for the theme for the one in April. So super stoked for that as well. Great to see my friends. So I got to see oh my gosh, I lost it. Of course, Heroes for Kids. So Chelsea and Robert and Chelsea's mom and my friend Keanu came to visit. I felt that we didn't get to our Starfire and X photo shoot, but we will do that next time. He had a voice box this time, so that was cool. Lonnie and Jess, of course. Dave. From Dave's Customs. Dave was right in the front with all the weapons. So the first thing people saw when they walked in the hall was the weapons. We weren't sure at first that was going to work, but he did amazing. So that was a good spot for him. So that good job for Dave and all his associates. My friend Bree was there and Lindsay. I got stuff from them, of course. I always checked on them. I love my girls. I saw Paige at Villainous Grounds on Saturday. Yeah, I went over there from Lonnie and Jessica's house because it's downtown. Before I went to the con. So that was fun. Always enjoy seeing them. All the Villainous Grounds people. Yeah, I saw them. See, I saw my friend Nick. He was helping out with Heroes for Kids as well. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Bob was there. Bob was like in the middle of an aisle. He does the caricatures. I'm used to him being in a corner. My friend Ellie Mack, an amazing author. She was there. I didn't know she was there until Sunday. I walked around. She's like, Morgan. And I was like, oh my gosh, Ellie. So we talked for a while and took pictures. And you know, we're so adorable together. I miss my other author friends. They don't come to Cape anymore, unfortunately. A lot of them. My friend David Clark, an amazing artist. He was there. One of my favorite artists, Moose Steps, was there. So actually his print that I got is back there. So I'll have to show you guys that. And he actually gave me a really nice deal, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Gosh. Oh, my friends for Legos who do the Lego bricks. I finally got my first Legos from them. They ran out of Power Rangers, but that's okay. I will get some more later. So he always brings his mom with him. I always call him Jason. That's not his name, but Jason Narvi, Skull from Power Rangers, said, you look like Austin St. John. So he kept telling everybody, like, hey, guys, look who runs the table. It's Jason from Power Rangers. And a couple people believed it. And he loved it. So it's just a joke between us. I'm like, hey, Jason, how's Red Rangering going? He just kind of laughs at that. See, I said Cake Street Animated. Brie and Lindsay were there, of course. Mimi came to help out. Normally Mimi does wigs. She's excellent. I'm going to have to get her to help me with a couple wig stuff. But she's going to focus on that at the Anime Con. She came Saturday and Sunday, was a big help. Actually got to take Mr. Baldwin to the airport. That was the fastest we ever packed. Luckily, he sold a lot of his merch, which I'll talk about in a minute. And he had some extra Funkos, and he's like, okay, so he kept them in individual boxes, which was really nice, in a suitcase. And I was like, just like, I knew how to open those boxes like the back of my hand. And he's like, well, that was fast. And I was like, I know Funkos. And I met one other guy in line when he had a busy line. I was taking his pre-order for Mr. Baldwin, and we were talking about Funkos, and he got the King Boomy sign. He's going to get the Iroh sign. He goes, yeah, I take all mine out for space. He goes, this will be the only two that I keep in the boxes. And I'm like, oh, I have Funkos. How many you got? He goes, 620 something. I was like, wow, I have 400 something. You're beating me. And he showed me like a video like of his house and like warp speed. And I'm just like, that's crazy. And I told Derek that. Derek's like, no. I'm just like, no, I'm not saying I want that. I'm just saying I'm not the only one. And his girlfriend was totally fine with it. So that was really funny too. I just met a whole bunch of nice, great people. Someone would just come by and say hi, and I got to be friends with them on Facebook. So but a very sweet photographer. Like his name was Jack. Oh my gosh, he was a doll. And he just goes, I love your vibe. And I'm like, I love your vibe. And we became like really good friends and hugged on Sunday. And now we're Facebook buddies. And I got to add the the head people who stole my wallet at one point. I was trying to pay for an autograph, and they're like, "No, you can get one for free. You're one of the helpers." I'm like, um, but he's not my handler. Like, if he was my handler, I can maybe, and my person, I guess I can understand. Mr. Baldwin was taking a break. But I'm like, no, and then they made me take a break one time. They're like, go take a break. I'm like, but what if people don't take a break? I'm just like, I was happy just people watching, honestly. But I'm like, fine. So I was forced to take a 40-minute break. How rude. And they took my wallet because I paid for the autograph. And they're like, no, till you learn your money responsibly. I'm just like about to cry because after 5 minutes I lost track of Shane who took my wallet, and I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. I need my wallet. And then Ariel had it. She goes, now promise me you're not going to use this over here. And I'm like, I promise. And I didn't. But I'm just like, so it was nice to feel included. And Mr. Ken thanked me. So that was, Mr. Ken's a great guy. They're all, everybody who works this con is fantastic, like absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to think of who else I saw. Oh, my local, I guess they're a comic book shop, comic book / graphic novels, and they have like odds and ends, like Funkos and stuff. They were there. My buddy Michael was helping out, like he always helps out, which is really awesome. Trying to think of everybody. My friend Tammy was there helping out Sunday with raffling for Heroes for Kids, which they did good on that. She was in a Poison Ivy cosplay. Dennis, of course, was there, and Dennis had his big 60th birthday. So we got to yell at him for that. And he was at SEMO, and it was Batman Day, so we got to yell at him for that. So I got to yell at him for 2 cons. It was great. So we made sure people in our aisle knew it was his birthday. I think he was Wolverine. I think it was Wolverine that day. Yeah, because Lonnie did his gambit with his flowing locks that day. I did see some X-Men Evolution cosplay girls, and they were so nice. And I was like, I do Shadowcat from Evolution, and like it's the best one. And they go, of course it is. And I've never met anybody else who like admits that. So they must be my generation. Which was really fun. So they were very sweet. Like everybody was really sweet. So yeah, it was just a great time. And working with Mr. Baldwin's been a dream. And he wants, Missouri, if he comes back, he wants to personally contact me, hopefully, if I'm able to work with him again. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I got 3 hugs from him over the weekend. And he does get really good hugs. They're very sweet and warm and caring. Like you can tell he cares about everybody. So I hope he's having fun relaxing. He said he has some time to relax. So that's good. And I guess I'll show you my swag now. Con did a great job. Oh, they had a pizza eating contest too, which I thought was interesting. I didn't get to go, obviously, but that was I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I got Starbucks. So I did not get Starbucks. That's what it was. I didn't get Starbucks Friday, but Saturday and Sunday, Shane ordered everybody Starbucks. And I'm just like, the guests and all the handlers. I'm like, why? So that was very nice of them to do that. And I got some of that tea that I like. It's like raspberry basil, something that Villainous Grounds does. Mr. Baldwin enjoyed that too. Like anytime he got something for free, he tried fried ravioli, as he called it, toasted ravioli. And I was like, "Did you like it?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Good for you." He doesn't love cheese. Like he's not against it. He's from the South originally, so he likes sweet tea. But people get him like jasmine and oolong, and he goes, "I got so much of it at home from gifts from people." And people were giving him like fan arts and stuff, which were gorgeous. And he was so appreciative. And he's like, "Whoa, and I won't tell you about his generosity again, but he's very grateful. I'm not saying buy a gift just to get something for free, but the people who gave him gifts, you can tell like really cared about him and put a lot of effort into them. And he saw that. So, which is very kind. So I'm wearing this little coffee thing that I got right here from Steamwork Productions I got years ago because I found out he loves super sweet coffee because that's what he ordered for his Starbucks order. And they got him one from Villainous on Friday, and he said it was good, but it wasn't sweet enough. And it was like had a lot of caramel in it. But they got him sweeteners and stuff, and his order was coffee, Starbucks coffee, on that Friday or Saturday and Sunday. So he was very well taken care of and all that stuff. But he's such a dream. I can go on about him forever. And my husband's home. Hello.
Hi.
Just doing a video.
Oh, okay.
I already talked about you helping me at SemoCon in the last one.
Aw.
Yeah. And how you were in, you like the magician. And Sox's. Yeah, Sox's over there. My cat's been goofy today. She's either been freezing cold or running around like a maniac. I don't know what's going on with her. Yeah, it was 64 degrees in here this morning. So, okay. So let me show you my goodies. So these were the prints I got back, in Denver, like in 2017 or 18, when I went with two of my friends who are expecting their baby any day now. So excited. But I did not end up getting them signed because situations. But I didn't want to show that that's what I initially bought. So I always buy from my friends Lindsay and Bree. Both of them actually have fan art in my Hunter and Bringer fan book, before and after, which is very nice. So she does random pens. They're $1 each, or you buy two, get one for free. So I got most of the Tsubasa ones. So they're Shaoran, Kurogane, and Phi. And then we have Shaoran and Sakura right here, looking nice. And then we have Mokana and Sakura and Shaoran. And the cat is crying. And then we got Mokana with his little glasses, his little steampunk glasses. And then I got an X-Men Evolution with Scott, Jean, and Kurt. And then I'd never seen this, so I like that she does stuff from my era, like more like obscure, but my era. So I got Brittany and Alvin staring down from the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, which is made like in '86 or something. So I was like, that's really cool. So I don't know where I'm gonna put them, but they're really cool. Oops. And then Bree, I got two things from Bree. I got the shiny Sailor Moon mid-transformation sticker. Don't have that one. And she has a beautiful Nana fan art, which I just watched Nana this summer. Very good. Wish it would continue. So I got that from her. She's about doing more magical girls, and I was like, yes, queen. Yes, do all the magical girls. Let's see here. And then I got some Legos from St. Louis Brick Fanatics. So there's their information there. And he ran out of Power Rangers, but that's okay. So I got some Sonic themed ones. I got my boy Shadow. He's the last one. And I got Amy. And I got Tikal, which you never see Tikal. So, and I really like her character. So, super excited for that. Find a little display for them. Sorry. Let's see, what else did I get here? Oh, I forgot I had my cookie in here. I got a free, it's a week old, and I don't know if it was any good, but I got the Water Tribe sugar cookie from Cakes Unlimited, Unanimated, and it's really pretty. They had all the nations, and of course, King Boomy got Earth Kingdom, and I had to show him how to hold it the right way, which was funny. And then Iroh got Fire Nation, of course. So that was nice of Ariel got that for me on Sunday, the last day. Oh, yes, is that? Okay. And then I got these commissioned from Lindsay over spring, and she finally, we not finally, but we made a payment plan. I paid them all off. So I got this beautiful Lower Olympus canvas, and she added flowers. I didn't notice that. I absolutely love it. Ah, and the butterflies. Oh, I love it. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I absolutely love it. So thank you, Lindsay. Oh, and I like that it's blue gems, but there's a subtle pink on the outside. And she also got me my Fruits Basket Crush Hattori in the new one. And I love the purple. Purple's my favorite. Oh, we got some gemstones. And we got the snow. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. I love it. Thank you, Lindsay. Sly Duck is her user handle if you want to follow her. I absolutely love those. Okay. And then I met a Power Ranger vendor. It's his first time doing a show. He just kind of collects things to sell like on eBay. And this was his first. He's done like toy shows, but he's never done a con. So he was just kind of cool, and he made his own really cool banners, and we just had a blast talking. So I was like, hey man. So he had these, and he was very impressed with my knowledge on like the market rates for all of the stuff. And he was being very fair. So he had these, I think it was buy 3 for $5. I love how these were originally $2 back in the day. So I actually got them pretty much the same price. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so there's 5 different ones. I spent $25. But yeah, so I got the movie, which is, just clips of them. We got the new season, the White Ranger. I think I have some of these. I had series 1. I opened a whole bunch of those from Knoxville. There we go. And then these come with coins. So I'm super stoked about that. I'll probably do a video where I open 2 of each and then save 1. But I took a picture of his sign, so I can maybe get in contact with him from work. These are really good deals for that. So, ta-da! Do I need more Power Ranger stuff? No. Did I get it anyway? Yes, but it's gonna go in my binder. And then I also, while he was packing up, I was eyeing this all weekend. I've been wanting it for a while. So I got Andromeda and Ecliptor, which are 2 of my favorite villains. I've actually met the voice of Ecliptor. He is Lex Lang. He is so cool. And then here's Andromeda. And I have space for them. And he had it at 50 and now it's 40, which is about what Amazon's asking for when it doesn't go out of stock. So very good deal. Looking forward to that. I love, this is one of my favorite outfits of Andromeda's too. She's got like 3 main ones. She's not core. I didn't like the last one with the red short hair, to be honest. If I had to have a nitpick. Okay. And then okay. There we go. Oops. Dropping all my stuff. Put these in here real quick. And I'll show you guys my big items here. Not big like in size, but just I guess the special items. Not that these aren't special either. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. Oops. Oops, oopsie. Oh, I do need to grab that poster though. It's right here. Isn't that stunning? I saw someone have that in line and I'm like, where did you get that? My demon voice came out. And she's like, oh, over there. And I'm like, I know who did that. Yep. So it's Muse Tap Studios. They're fantastic. I always try to get a couple posters from them. I see them at a lot of cons, at least every, a couple once a year. And this one's just gorgeous because the store loved this. And somebody or two people bought the metal ones, which are $60 of the Avatar group, which I have the Avatar group one. I bought that years ago from him, but not the metal one. And the one person, like, he's like, "Oh, this is gorgeous. I don't have this one. I collect Avatar fan art." So I went over Saturday really quick right before we opened, and I bought it from him. And I said, "I also went in the Lower Olympus." I'm like, "I know normally they're like $10." I'm like, "Do you do a deal?" He said, "Well, since you're buying a $60 metal one, I'll do it for 5." I said, "Okay." And he goes, "No, no, you know what?" He said, "You always buy stuff from us. You always support us. I'm just going to give it to you." I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Absolutely." So that was very kind of him to do that. Look how beautiful they are. Oh. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Muse Tap. You should definitely check them out. All right. So I did get pictures with all these lovely folks. I'll have to get them printed. So here's my one with Colossus, the Stefan. He was very charming. I think it's from he's Slavic, I believe. I said Russian, and I was like, no, he's not Russian. I think he's Slavic, but very sweet guy. And then I met Rob, who was Red Skull right here. The pictures that he had were a little scary, and I was like, I don't know if I should put that in my classroom book. But that's where this one's going. So he did the voice of Ultron in the What If series. So I thought that would be pretty cool to see that. Peace in our time. Oh. And then I met King Boomy, Mr. Andre. He was next to us. Ariel was his handler. And he was very funny as well. He had a lot. He has a lot. Not only is he Boomy, but he's Spark and Spyro. He was the gorilla suit in that one really weird SpongeBob episode. That was a funny story. He thought he was going to do the voice of a gorilla, and so did his agent, but he walked in and they're just like, "Here, put on this suit." And he's like, it was smelled terrible. And he was running around for 10 minutes doing cartwheels and all the stuff that are filming him. And he's like, "I thought I was going to die." So it was a pretty funny story. Yeah, he has a lot of characters. Polar Express, he was 2 characters in that. He had a pretty good list of characters. I just mostly knew him as Boomy, but so here's the one I got. He had beautiful penmanship, and he put a quote on there for me. So tell me, young Baldwin, where are you from? It says, "To Morgan, great to meet you, Andre." King Boomy. And then he did one for my students, which is will go in our class book. It says, "Listen to your teacher." He looks crazy in this one. So I absolutely love it. And then my gosh. And then of course, my favorite, Mr. Baldwin, was so sweet. So I picked Pai Shul. He had 5 different iros. He had the one where he breaks out of jail. He had this one. He had another one I'll show you in a minute. The sad one, as I call it, with the trees on the vine scene. And the one where he looks real kind of, I thought he was smiling, but apparently it's the smug one. So we were like, okay, what if people can't pick, like, what mood are you in? So that was pretty fun. The Pie Show was pretty popular. The sad one, of course, was very popular. And the prison break. Once there's a special gift with that one that he doesn't tell people about. Once that rumor went around the con, more people wanted that one. We were trying to secretly convince people without convincing people to get it too. So that was pretty fun. But so I'm very appreciative to that. I like this, my friend. And then this is from my classroom. I thought they'd like Intense Uncle Iroh, the Dragon of the West. And it says, "To Mrs. Comnick's class, follow your passion and life will reward you." And I'm like, that is the perfect class. And he liked that I was an author, and I gave him my business card. That was very sweet of him. So he did have Iroh Funkos. He had some enamel pins that were like yin yang. One was his Iroh side, one was his Aku side, which were perfect. He had a vendor make them, which was great. And then a really big seller, he had 24 of them, and he sold out of them completely by Sunday. I actually sold 3 of the expensive ones while he was gone. temporarily. And he's like, "How did you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm just like Jason Darby was telling me, like, "Man, I never sold so many combos before. How do you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know." I just talk to people. Um, but he gets porcelain teacups and he paints them, which is so cute. So he has blank ones that were $60. So he'll his autographs are normally 50. So you get the teacup and then he signs them and it's a little doodle for you. And then he has all like he's had over 460, I think, so far. He had a limited ones of those because of airplane weight. He couldn't carry a whole bunch. So I think he just had 24. Um, but they're the same cup and they're already signed on. They're all numbered and dated at the bottom. And it's the white lotus tile, but they're all colored in a little bit different. And he's the only Avatar person right here. He's got a white lotus tile tattoo. And we're like, he's the only one truly dedicated to the series. And he's like, yeah, that's right. Oh, look, it was under my sleeve the whole time. And then he's planning on getting a Fire Nation symbol one before his next appearance in a little bit because he's got some time off. So I was like, oh, I can't wait to see that. That would be rad. And as a present, I wasn't planning on buying it because I wanted someone else to have it, but he insisted. I got the second to last one. So he signed it for me. There's my name. He's got beautiful penmanship. We say at the Jasmine Dragon, we're also going to have calligraphy classes if his voice acting doesn't work out. And there's the little T. I'm going to cherish it forever. He said you can bake it for a little bit and then the signature and everything will stay on. So I thought that was cool. I'm not drinking tea out of it. But people who did say they drink tea, I'm like, then your tea will always be enlightened. And they're like, that's a good joke. Because the ramen's in the teapot. And Uncle Ira's enlightening. So double joke. But yeah, Cape Comic Con, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Working with Greg Baldwin, 1,000 out of 10. 10,000. Whatever number. Like, oh, just amazing. So inspirational. So much fun. One of the best weekends I'd ever had. So thank you for that, Mr. Baldwin. I hope you're doing well. Thank you to all of our guests, all my wonderful friends and vendors. Lonnie and Jess, of course, my Heroes for Kids family, which of course a lot of the guests donated to. So thank you for contributing to such a wonderful cause that they've worked so hard on for 9 or 10 years now, which is, 9 years, which is insane. Thank you to all the cosplayers, all the visitors, all the people who love Uncle Iroh. You're really smart. And come check us out in April for the anime convention. I'm really looking forward to what guests they're going to bring. And of course, next Comic Con. And hopefully we can get Mr. Baldwin back to Missouri. He said he'd love to come back anytime. He was even on Zulu looking up like prices of houses in Cape Girardeau just out of curiosity's sake. And he's like, oh, it's not so bad. And it's really pretty here. I'm like, you could have a vacation home in Missouri. All right, guys. We love you. And make sure your life is full of happiness and light. And I know if you need to find it, you can always search for it even in the dark. Parodying Uncle Iroh. I'm not as wise as him. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Cape Con. Oh, Sock says bye. Thank you for being amazing.